Hey everyone, I'm Kloo. So I finally got a under 30-minute run in So Dungeon 2 for Dimension 1 or any percent, and this run is really good. So for the most part, I'm just going to be giving some commentary over the run, as sort of indicating what exactly I've done, because the strats have changed a little bit from my previous video. A forewarning though, before we get into it, this guide will be soon outdated. So just recently on stream, brainstorming with the community, Santurfa, really helpful. We've come up with a new premise for Dimension 1 that's going to be, it should be consistently quicker. Granted, I don't know if I can get 28 minutes with it. You still need really good RNG in terms of warps and just all the extra little things that can really speed you up. Other than that, we're getting into the main bit of the run now, so I've just gone through all the tutorial segments, and we're going to be doing our first run with the So Junkie. So I do mess up the menuing a little bit here and there. I'm usually into this first dungeon around 1 minute and 1 second. I think now I entered 1 minute 04. So it is slightly slower. I didn't expect this run to go the way it did. Other than that, we're just clearing in line with the tutorial, so you have to do up to level 5 and lose, unfortunately. We're on our way out, lots of stuff to click through. Now we can go ahead and get geared up. We're doing another run just with a single So Junkie. So we're going to go to 5 again. And there we're going to actually leave straight after 5 so that we don't waste any time. And this is really good for a couple of reasons. One, we're getting the exact amount of gold to unlock the tavern upgrades we want. And this mini boss on level 5 is also always guaranteed to drop a wooden sword, which we do make use of. I was a bit slow here, I didn't turn auto off in time, so I had to sit through their attack animations. Again, like I said, the menuing's a bit off, because I was not prepared for this run, so to speak. On that, we're upgrading the stool once, and then unlocking the hammer rail. You have to do this as part of the tutorial. I also then just turned in the quest to get the extra gold, so that I could upgrade the table to the first level. Having these two upgrades, the stool and the table to level 1, almost guarantees that you get 3 patrons on your next tavern, which is really important. It allows you to clear level 10 consistently. So once again, I've farmed to level 5. This is mostly important because of the wind sword. The gold also does help, but you really want the wind sword so that you can clear all the rooms up to level 10 efficiently. We're going to go ahead, hire our 3. I grabbed the Carpenter last, since he can use a special ability called Nailed It. We don't want him having a wooden sword. It would actually be less damage overall. But you should be able to notice that every single room, the enemy doesn't actually get to attack. That's because we have the exact damage for every single room thanks to having the 2 wooden swords. So we're going to level 10, and then we're going to beat the boss. And hopefully we have enough gold. Well, I know we have enough gold. So luckily we get the chest gold, meaning I don't have to farm for a little bit. The new guide I did mention, and I will, once I finalize it, I'll make a new video showing it off. You don't have to farm, it is far more consistent in terms of gold, along with being quicker. Anyway, we have to talk to the tavern owner, he gives us some stone, so we can go ahead and make the blacksmith. If you're a bit short on gold, you can sell items there. I didn't. Not too much of an issue. Upgrade and install twice. This should guarantee that we get 4 to 5 patrons on all the future taverns, which is really important because you're trying to scale your amount of people before your actual weapons and upgrades. Other than that, we're just clearing level 5 for another wooden sword. Again, since it's a guaranteed drop, it's really good to just farm up the number of wooden swords equal to your party size. So we did get 4 patrons, which is what we need to clear to level 20 consistently. You also want at least 2 healing stones. So I'm going to sell a few things, buy another one, and then we're going to start from level 1. It's very important that you hire the Carpenters first, since they have a higher mana pool. So giving them the healing stones means we have 20 heals between the two of them. If they were on Soda Junkies, we'd only have 10 heals, which is a big difference. and does sort of impede you getting to level 20. Other than that, like usual, we're just hoping we get the chest gold off the bosses, because it does really help. So you could use Nailed It here, and I'm pretty sure you could clear it in one round. There's still a few things I could test and really refine. For the most part, we're doing okay. So I do flick on and off between auto, and the reason for this is right now you can see I'm focusing on these slug enemies. So I have noticed there are a few enemies you want to prioritize above all else in each segment. So for instance, these slugs have a speed down ability, which is not only really slow for them to cast it, it's really bad because it throws off your team comp, and ideally you want to be either clearing an enemy like that, or 2 enemies, or 3 if you could really get all 3 done. That way you don't hemorrhage so much damage. And that the main thing is to keep all your units above 8 HP, and the reason for that is the boss here on level 20 can do at most 8 damage, meaning if anyone sits on 8, they're a 1-shot. If anyone sits above 8, then they are 2 shots, which is really good. So again, I'm flicking auto on and off between rooms. I missed this slug actually because I wasn't quick enough, so that's just me going over on stream saying I should have focused on them. Yeah, this one's fine. Yeah, so I'm regretting it here. I was meant to target the slug. You do only have to hit them once, because as long as they have the lowest HP pool among all the enemies, your auto attack will focus them regardless of positioning. So again, we're just going to take the time to heal up above 8 on everyone, and then clear the enemy. So now every unit we have is 2 shots away from death, and this means we can just focus entirely on damaging the boss. We don't have to worry about anyone wiping. We're also far above 200 gold, which is really good. You need at least 200 gold to unlock the Wizard's Hut. We do want a little bit extra because we want to craft a few things, namely a iron sword to really help us clear, and then we want to stock up on iron for shields and another iron sword later on. We also get the chest gold, which is really good. We're quite ahead on gold, and I'm sort of waking up and feeling that this run could actually be pretty decent. We're going to go ahead, unlock the Wizard's Tower, turn in all the quests, head into the tavern. I'm meant to click upgrade, so install to 4 and the table to level 2. This should now guarantee that we get 5 patrons the majority of the time, and 6 now and then. I'm also going to sell a few things so that we can craft and also warp in the dungeon. We're up to level 20, so we need at least 20 gold to warp, and we also need 60 gold to craft the iron sword. So for the most part, I'm selling everything but iron and wood, because that's all you need for crafting. The iron sword always goes on someone on the right hand side, since they can initially take a back attack, which does 1.5 times their normal damage. So it's just a helpful little boost to their damage. Once I get a second iron sword, I like to split them, have one on both sides, just because then on average on a boss or so, you're getting the most damage out of your equipment. Other than that, it's pretty chill. We just go into 30 again. We will just be clearing in 10 floor intervals. So here, I'm swapping auto up again. You want to prioritize any of the ghost enemies except the brown ghost. And the reason for that is they all have a cast animation, and that cast animation is significantly slower than any mob or entity attacking. What do we even call them? Enemy. Just enemy's fine, I guess. So I am just trying to be on the lookout and try and catch the auto quick enough. So fork in the roads. I don't want to exactly continue. At this point on this run, I'm still worried about gold because there's a few things I want to try and do. So I'm not warping past this floor. I really should have, because either way, if it was a bad path, I wouldn't have had to fight 4 enemies, it would have been a lot quicker. And then if it was something good like a warp or even a healing fairy, I would have been in a much better position to A, skip the boss, or B, fight the boss. It's not a big deal. I still think until 100, you should be taking every alternative path. It's just going to be a lot quicker. We're just trying to stack on the damage, make sure we clear it before it beats us. The majority of bosses are just DPS races, and you can often win. They're not too hard. We even lost the Iron Sword right away, and we still did enough damage to clear it. So exit. And here we're going to be buying some iron, and trying to do a little bit of crafting. We are kind of ahead on gold, which is good, but it is still a kind of tight race. I'm not too sure if I still have the mentality to prepare for all dimensions, in which case I wouldn't turn in quests. On that, I'm just crafting the iron as we need it. That way I don't run out of gold and can craft the maximum amount of items. I'm going to sell down. You don't need any of the other shields. The buckler and the stool both gives insignificant amounts of HP, so there's no point in equipping them. We got 5 patron, that's fine. So again, I'm swapping 1 iron sword on either side. That way we can try and maximize damage. You can also see I have just tanked all my gold on crafting. And even then, I'm not really done with the crafting. You want a complete set of 6 iron shields. And this just really helps because they give a significant amount of HP. Also, this was kind of bad. It's a bit slow. It does help us because we do want to still buy iron, and this allows us to obviously collect a little bit. It is going to take a bit longer than it should, which kind of shows that this run still could have been quicker. There's lots of things that could have gone a little bit better, and overall, I think if you really had the time to just grind it, you could probably aim for a 25-minute run. On that, I'm still very happy that I got under 30 minutes. So this brown ghost here is not one to worry about. Doesn't have any cast animations. Again, I use the term normal enemies and pseudo-elites. So any of the ghosts are pseudo-elites because they have a special ability and slightly more HP. So you do want to prioritize them. All in all, for this boss, you don't have to worry too much about getting your whole party there. The majority of bosses, you're hiring 5 or 6, and then you're okay if 1 or 2 of them dies. Since you should still be able to always clear with at least 4 of your own units. Also, a good strat with rooms like this is always to focus clearing enemies before recovering. That way you can get down to a manageable amount. So 1 enemy, for instance, that's doing damage and you can heal through it. This boss is probably the most risky. So it has 3 attacks. It has a swipe, which hits all 3 on one side. It has a poison attack, which hits 3 random units. And then it has that normal bite. All of which, at this point, are one-shots. Even if you had full iron shields, the majority of your units are still going to be in one-shot range. So it's probably the most scary part of the run. But we got through it pretty easily. We only saw his chomp ability, so we got very lucky. On that, we're just continuing to hire. I'm grabbing the 3 Soul Junkies. I think the plan is to go for a farm run. On that, we're continuing to craft our iron shields up to 6. Starting at 1. And I'm just quitting it. So I don't know why I hired all 3, I should just hide 1. And what I'm doing now is just resetting the tavern manually, because we don't have enough money for the bed. And there you can see, I decided to stop worrying about all dimensions and turn in the quest. So normally, if you're doing all dimensions, you would stop turning in quests so that you can carry the gold through to the next one. But since this is just any percent, I'm fine with turning in all the gold. It is a nice little boost. In fact, I'm going to play it safe and craft another iron sword, just to make sure we have enough damage. Realistically, you only need the 2, and I do get a bit unlucky here. It's taken me a lot of resets to get 5 patrons. There we go, we got it. We got 3 iron swords too, so we got a good amount of damage, good amount of healing. I'm just itemizing. A little bit bad with it. It's kind of tricky getting hiring priorities, because obviously you don't want heals on your damage dealers, but at the same time it's auto-equipping everything to them, because it just picks the best in slot, so to speak, and it thinks the best in slot is highest weapon, highest armor, and of course healing. We do get a warp there, which is really good. We saved a little bit of time. It does unfortunately put us below where we want to be for gold, because at this point we're really aiming to unlock the mystics, because we need the mystics to consistently clear 70 onwards at a reasonable pace. You can't do it with your manual guys because it's so slow. The mystics always do at least 20 damage, which is obviously at this point at least double the damage my highest units are doing, regardless of crits and back attacks. So mystics are just super powerful. In fact, the new strat we figured out is a way to hire mystics earlier on so that you can just use them, which should theoretically be quicker because you should be able to clear a lot quicker with just mystics casting. Because not only do they do more damage, they hit every enemy in the room. Other than that, bosses are pretty much jokes in D1. They do more damage than they have HP, so to speak, so they're very easy to clear. For instance, we just did that in one round. No gold. So here I'm sort of debating whether or not to try and push to 60. For the most part, I'm feeling it out. If we lose any party members before 55, I will leave. If we don't, then I should be right to do till 60. We should have enough heals left between all the units. I think I had 3 healing stones, so that's, what, 14 heals between them. And then this boss is probably the easiest boss in the run. It can be easily looped into a heal pattern. I think if you do more than 50% of its HP, it will just try to recover every turn and heal for 20. So it's nice and easy to just safely do, so to speak. Every now and then it might attack you. It's still not a big deal. You should be able to obviously just burn it down through DPS. Again, for whatever reason, their HP pool seems like it's not really scaled well enough. It looks like we're going to be fine, so we are just going till 60. So this is probably the first bit where I'm saving time, because a big time loss is leaving the dungeon. Having to leave the dungeon and sit through the exit screen is a decent amount of time loss. I think it's a good 15 to maybe 20 seconds. Other than that, the priorities for this section are these little jello enemies. Again, they have a cast animation, making them slower than a normal enemy. So the healing fairy is really good. I skip a room and I recover. So I was contemplating the jello. Here I'm actually regretting that I didn't turn auto off and do the jello, so now I am. For the most part, the auto AI is pretty decent, so you don't have to really worry about things. If you're just trying to do D1 quicker than normal, not necessarily speedrun, for the most part the auto AI can be used easily. And then just follow the upgrade routes and the hiring. You should be able to do it pretty decently. Probably on average, using this method, you should be able to get between 30 and maybe 40 minutes. But we got the boss down. Again, we're a bit behind on gold. Luckily, I do get the chest. So right now we're exiting so that we can hire the mystics, and that way we can clear up to 70 a lot quicker and a lot easier. It's also where the pressure is on. So I think I do turn the quests simply for the sake of having enough gold to hire everyone. So yeah, I almost forgot. I meant to hire the mystic. Perfect. And then I'm entering and exiting. No, sorry, I grabbed the bed. I forgot about that. I'm still entering and exiting, trying to look for at least one mystic before I use the bed to reset. The bed costs a huge amount of gold the further into the dungeon you get. I don't know the exact math, but it's kind of weird. It costs 50 gold, and then if I reset with even more patrons, it costs even more. I think it's almost the floor you're on times a unknown variable. We'll put it that way. And the unknown variable is related to whoever you hire. Because if you hire Soda Junkies, for instance, the cost that it goes up is a bit less. But anyway, clearing from now on is super simple. You're not using the auto AI, you're just manually casting on every single enemy. The Mystics have the perfect amount of mana to heal 10 floors. Sorry, not heal, to clear 10 floors. That's all we're doing. And we did also get that lucky warp, which does really help us on time, because we were kind of cutting it close. Another joke of a boss. Ridiculously low HP. And to be honest, this is pretty much it for the run. Once you have the Mystics in the bed, it's just rinse and repeat, hire at least 3 of them. 3 of them can clear all the floors. 90, you do want 4, just to consistently do a few of the enemies. Their pseudo-elites have a slightly more HP. They're usually put at 1 hit away from death. So we're hiring 3. Single targets we're clearing through auto attacks. I think it's slightly quicker. Yet to be really tested. And then everyone else gets AoE down. Again, with 30 mana, you're at the exact amount to do 10 floors, so it's nothing really to worry about. Okay, since the rest of the run is kind of just this over and over, we'll go over the guide step by step for anyone who's interested. So again, once you start the dimension, you're going through the tutorial section. After that, you're hiring a Soda Junkie and being forced to lose at level 5. There's more tutorial prompts. You're forced to unlock the stool and the hammer ale. Then you also want to turn in the quest to do so. So you get a quest to obviously upgrade the stool and the hammer ale. And once you do, you can use that gold to now upgrade the table to level 1. You're hiring another Soda Junkie, beating to level 5. So repeating this level 5 grind is really important because you're guaranteed a wooden sword. After that, you're unlocking the character, hiring 3 units at least. Well, you should almost be guaranteed 3 units in the tavern if you've upgraded the stool and the table to level 1. Then with 3 enemies, you're doing level 10, aiming for 110 gold so you can unlock the blacksmith and hire at least 1 character. The 110 is kind of just like a safety method, because on average you should find at least 1 character in your tavern. Other than that, in terms of selling, you're selling everything but bone, iron, and wood. These are the 3 most important crafting materials. Then you're just hiring 4, beating level 20, getting 200 gold for the wizard's hut, and then it's kind of just rinse and repeat. Upgrade the stool and table to 4 and 2, and then hire 5, beat 30, craft whatever you can, prioritizing iron swords first, then iron shields. Beat the next set of floors, so 40 to 50, 50 to 60, and then by that time you get past 60, you should have 1,000 gold to unlock the Mystics. If you don't, just farm a little, get 1,000 gold, unlock the Mystics. You need at least 2 Mystics to clear 60 to 70, and then from that point on, you want to unlock the bed, hire at least 3 Mystics, and just rinse and repeat. Just clear everything using casts, and you're pretty much done. You can also continue to turn in the quests. If you're planning to do Dimension 2 and 3, not turning in the quests is a significant time increase. Well, no, sorry. When I say time loss, I mean it as a good thing, and when I say time increase, I mean it as a bad thing. But not turning in the quest means you can cheat in gold to the next dimension, and that gold then allows you to unlock the Mystics and really speed up Dimension 2, Dimension 3, and Dimension 4. And then by the time you finish Dimension 4, you should have enough gold for Inheritance. And you're still using the same method. Essentially, I'm pretty sure at this point, you can clear all the way to the Warrior Dimension just through the right optimization of the Mystics. Let's get a warp here, which is really good. It means I don't have to fight the boss, and I was really worried at this point, because if you weren't paying attention to me and watching the screen, I was really messing up the run. I did I turned auto off to try and melee a few mobs to conserve mana. All these different things that were really bad decisions, and I definitely couldn't have done the boss. Thanks to that warp though, the run is alive. Even if we didn't get the warp, I most likely would have lost the boss repeated, and this would probably be around a 30-minute run. Thankfully though, we got done. I am just doing whatever I can to rush it, so to speak. So we lost a unit there. Ideally, you would reset, because you want 6 going into 95. Because you're almost guaranteed to lose someone to 94. Well, not guaranteed, but it's like the highest risk. But that said, we should have enough damage to still do the Dark Lord as long as he gives us favourable RNG, which of course he did, hence why we get a 28-minute run. Also forgot to split, it's not a big deal. I do forget a lot of the time. It's a lot easier when I just cut it down to dimension start and dimension finish. I do just want to heal up. I have 3 Mystics, so I should still be able to cast. There's only one pseudo-elite enemy in this pod, and that's the one that Mouse is currently on. So everyone else should be cleared. Actually no, the Knight wasn't. I'm sure the Knight was a normal type of enemy. I didn't realize he had extra HP. I'm pretty sure I didn't realize it then either. But with 2 enemies, it should be fine now. So 3, the pot gets cleared, and then I beat the Dark Knight. The Healing Fairy is really great. Guarantees that we should be able to clear the boss, because I can just cast over and over again, and doing the 20 damage is a lot better. It's also a really good 99, because all of these enemies die in 3 hits. So it's also slightly quicker than getting a pseudo-elite. Now it's just boss time. So I think with the rapier I'm doing more damage. That's what I'm telling the audience here. But I don't, it's only 18. So I do want to just cast. Yeah, so I was just kind of checking everyone to see their damage. Yeah, ideally we want him to beat the Soda Junkie first, but it's not a big deal, you can't really control it. We also want Shadow Slicer. It does, I think, 9 damage, so it's really insignificant. And we get it. It does have a slow animation, but at the same time it's a speed up because we're not losing a party member to his normal swing. Should be 2 more rounds, I think. We also got another Shadow Slicer, so we get a full round of damage, so to speak. Yep, perfect. Done. Quick and easy. Finally under 30 minutes. Unfortunately, for me, the new strats, I think I can beat this time, which means I need to prove it. So, I look forward to aiming for 25 minutes now. Huge, huge change from where it was at. The file looks nice. 28 minutes. Anyway, hope you enjoyed. See ya.